Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy Podcast, episode 126.
Hello.
Hello, Toby. I pulled a Ryan Scott there and had to shock everyone into shutting up so we could actually start recording this podcast.
I was not shocked.
Excellent. This is the podcast for the week.
What's Ryan doing?
This is the podcast for the week of September 30th, 2013.
Thank God he's not repeating this.
Almost done. Almost done with the month of Brock. We can get there. We're one more day. One more day. This is the last day. All right, here we go.
You mean a couple hours?
My name is Ryan Higgins. Who's here with me this week?
Brock Sager.
Omar.
Toby.
And Charlie.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
We had what was probably, the bigger thing to come out, one of the bigger things to come out this summer for, I guess technically not summer anyway.
The taco truck?
Is it still summer? Taco, no. If you ever go to a taco truck and you see them bust out some American cheese, just to walk away at that point, okay? That's our advice going forward. Just beware of that. If you see them, packaged American cheese, just walk away. That's all we're going to say.
It's not even a truck. It's like
a taco cart.
Yeah.
We are doomed with horrible food in this complex and around this complex. I mean, guys, the pizza places are great. They're fine. But all the other places around here, well, no, I shouldn't take that back because our
frozen yogurt was good.
Frozen yogurt was good.
But it only lasted 2 weeks.
Until the end.
Longer than 2 weeks.
There was some issues at the end there. I had some rancid-ass yogurt there once or twice.
A couple times.
Yeah. I don't know if they just weren't cleaning their machines or what, but it's man, there's a reason why 90% of businesses fail. It's because everyone is 90% of people are terrible. They're busting out American cheese and 3-day-old repackaged chicken on my fucking quesadilla. No, I'm sorry. I should have just walked away. It wasn't looking good the second we walked up. I should have just known. Oh, well. Yeah. Toby, you have to report through the podcast because you actually ate the most of it, the most of it of us. So keep us updated throughout the podcast how you're feeling. So if we lose a member of the podcast, we'll know why.
I walked in and he was picking through shit. He's like, Omar, does that look like meat? I'm all, nah, man, it's not meat. Just eat it. You'll feel it later. It is.
You're drinking a Mexican Coke. I think it would be fine afterwards.
I don't know. I'm not feeling too good right now, to be honest with you.
The Cokes are fine. The food, man, some rancid-ass food. Anyway, something big happened last week for comic book fans across the country. And that was the start of a much-hyped, brand-new television show called Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. by Marvel Comics, Disney, and ABC. Based on the Marvel Universe movies. This is the continuation. This is our 6th Marvel movie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7th Marvel movie,
yes,
right?
He counted on
with Thor coming up next.
If you're calling this a movie, does that mean it's going to be a 15-hour long?
Sure,
epic?
it's going to be a 90-hour long movie. But you know what I mean, right? This is the next part in Marvel's continuing dominance of the film. And now they're trying their hand to TV.
And I would even say it helps strengthen the sort of connection between all the movies with the way they handled at least the pilot.
We'll talk about the episode here in a second. So I think the number I saw was 10 million views live and 14 when you count in DVR. They kind of DVRs over the first 3 days or something weird. I don't know what how exactly they counter that, but I think Toby's going to go outside and vomit.
So I think Toby's going to yak.
Oh,
wow.
All right, here we go. Live on television, Toby vomiting in a bush.
Should I go out there with the mic, with the mic, see how far it reaches? Charlie
didn't even have any. And he threw his away before he even took a bite. And I think Charlie's going to not make it through the podcast. Toby's going to go vomit all over the taco truck, people. All right, this is amazing live.
I would do the same thing. If I got sick, I would go right up there, right in front, and just yak.
Anyway, so Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I think he's getting another drink.
There was a lot of hype behind the show. Obviously, a ton of hype. Everyone here was just stoked to the walls for this thing.
It's so funny how you're totally setting it up for failure. You're gonna make it. Oh, it was the biggest thing.
It was.
See, sometimes this is the hardest part of the podcast for me to actually sit through and I know what Ryan's setting up for.
He's polishing it off. He's winding up.
It's a long intro to this.
Yeah,
okay?
Right.
Let me get ready for the big dump.
Well, let's just be honest. Everyone here was stoked for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
yes.
Toby's going to have a little of his retro when he comes back. He'll have a little bit of his retro. Well, he wasn't really that excited for it, but he was excited for it. Everyone's excited for it.
We were in.
I'm a little older than some of you. So for me, I grew up all around comics, TV comics. Like, I think the 70s was probably bigger than the 80s, wasn't it?
Like TV shows about comic books?
Yeah.
Like, you had...
No, it was early 80s. No, it was the 80s.
You had Hulk.
Yeah, I was going to say,
You had
I grew
Shazam.
up all around.
Okay, well, maybe we're
I mean,
close
there's
to the
always
same
been a
age.
presence, right? You had the
Well, even
old...
if we're not close to the same age, most of that shit went on to be played at the 4 to 5 o'clock hour on CW or the WB or whatever it was called
Yeah.
back then.
Back when reruns existed.
Yeah.
Well,
Like-
there was no WB back then. I mean, it started.
true,
It was.
true, yeah.
I mean, you had the Superman. Superman. You had the like the Marvel. What is it like the? I don't know what they called it. Where they took like the clips from the comics and actually like animated them.
Yeah,
Right.
that
That
was kinda
Stanley
cool.
did the voiceover on. I mean,
Yeah.
that was back in the '60s. You had through the '70s. You had Shazam. You had ISIS. You had Hulk into the early '80s.
I
Right?
still
mean,
remember the original Spider-Man TV series.
yeah, very
Yeah.
short-lived. And Spider-Woman had a very short-lived series.
yeah,
And so,
yeah.
I mean, there's always been this stuff on TV, but continuity and actually creating this sort of universe has never existed till now.
Not in a live action form.
Right. I mean, you have like Batman and Superman and Justice League, and they had the animated stuff, and that's obviously incredible. But, right, in live action, we've never had this before. So there's a lot riding on this. Obviously, it did amazing, and non-comic book people, I'm sure we're like, okay, this is all, we all love it, right? I mean, because
Yeah, it was a big deal. It was almost like
It's
during
huge.
like
It was a huge hit.
whenever the Brady Bunch and Partridge Family would get together for a combo episode.
But I'm not alone, and I know I'm not alone in this room, and I definitely wasn't alone in the store on Wednesday. And reaction online seems fairly mixed, especially from the comic community. I did not like it. I mean, I'm always willing to give something like this a handful of episodes. I'm, more, maybe a season or maybe even two, depending on how what it does. But I was really, really disappointed with this. I mean, if you guys got something to say, I mean, jump in. I mean, I could.
Toby puking in the back.
I can. Was he really?
I listened to.
He's Ralph and like, oh my god.
I mean, there must have been meat in there.
Dude,
you know what
yeah.
it probably is? It's just because he was also eating off of the same grill that the meat was being cooked on, so that has the same kind
Maybe.
of like flavor.
Maybe. I can. So anyway, let's
Sorry.
Toby will be okay.
Man, he's a fucking screamer.
I mean, we could stop this if you need to, but I don't hear anything.
No, I think we're good.
But what did you guys think of it? And I know Omar, you and Charlie both liked it.
Yeah.
It was entertaining.
Sell me on this because I was so excited for this, and about halfway through, so about 10 minutes into the episode, my girlfriend's like, "Oh, it's another one of these type of shows," huh? And I'm like, "Yeah, shut up, whatever. It's gonna be awesome."
One of these shows, Joss Whedon, he has like a flavor. He has an ingredient and recipe to everything that he does, and it is predictable. I mean, for those that have watched like his other shows, be it Buffy, Firefly, what is his other ones? You know them all.
Well, Angel,
Dollhouse.
Dollhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, is it going to be super serious and dark? Maybe some parts, but for the most part, it'll always be light and humorous and fun and pretty fast paced. Much more, very, very much like everyone just like gets together as like a little party, and you get to like watch it and be involved in it. And I loved, the whole LMD. Little mystery starting right from the beginning. Like that was pretty fun. I liked them using different actors that he's used in the past. What is that?
Well, yeah, Joss always brings in people.
It's like loyalty. You gotta appreciate that.
It brings another level to the Easter eggs. You look for both the Easter eggs from Marvel and the Easter eggs from Joss.
I loved that the fun joke of there being another Chloe, and I know that's something Ryan is just like rolling his eyeballs backwards and forwards and backwards, and it's coming out of his mouth. And
what is her name in the show? Sky is the worst character I have ever seen. Okay, I don't want to say worst character I've ever seen. It is one of the most annoying characters I have seen in anything I've watched recently. She is terrible.
Well, let's be honest. This is just Coulson's show. You just watch Coulson and the rest is fine.
Here's the thing. Okay. I'm not saying I don't like Agent Coulson, right? But I think it's just like trying to take a joke and turning it into like a serious thing. It doesn't always work. I think this is not gonna work with Coulson in the long run. I don't think people want an hour-long Agent Coulson show a week. And I don't think that's enough. It seems to me like something like, you have this fun character that kind of gets introduced and thrown around and they're doing stuff with, and the internet loves it. Just because the internet loves it doesn't mean the internet is going to spend billions of hard-earned dollars on Agent Coulson products, and I don't think
he's
this
one
show...
of the top-selling shirts on Threadless and what is it? We Love Fine. Those Agent Coulson shirts. Those are one of the top-selling Marvel shirts.
But you're talking that's still a very small audience compared to actual in-store product. I don't think you're going to see Agent Coulson shirts next to like Batman and Captain America t-shirts and selling the same product.
But I guess the way I look at this show is obviously they couldn't do Nick Fury because
for obvious reasons.
They even from the first episode they're like, and we're gonna have, you have to watch every episode because at the end of every episode we're gonna have something at the end, and it's like, okay, guys.
Well, depending on what they deliver on that, I see, and this is something that I'm stealing somebody from the online community talking about this because that's what they're there for.
Sure.
It makes sense to try and do stuff to keep people through that last commercial break because that's how you sell advertising revenue. If everybody changes the channel after that, and like you need something other than just the credits. So what they're basically saying is we're going to try and give you something similar to at the end of the credits at the Marvel movies and that kind of stuff, give you something there to make it worth sticking around through the entire allotted time frame of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, but look at something like Batman Brave and the Bold, right? I'm sorry, not Brave and the Bold, Beware the Batman. So they finally had a thing of like, oh, sorry, we're going to have an actual character appear in this show. And I'm like, dude, it's too late. I don't care. I'll fuck this show. It's so bad. I can't deal with it. I'm like 8 episodes behind on my TiVo, and I'm like, I tried to start it the other day, and I'm like, no, I'm done. This is bad. I don't care if Ra's al Ghul is on it. I cannot. I just don't care. You lost me, all right. And S.H.I.E.L.D. has the possibility of doing the same thing. Yeah, it's cool if Robert Downey Jr. pops up for 5 seconds once or twice here and there. That's neat, but that can't sell a show week to week.
No.
These are horrible, cliched base characters from the start, with the exception of Coulson and Maria Hill. I thought were pretty good. They had a nice dynamic at the beginning, and she's not going to be on any other episode, and you could only go so far with Coulson. All the rest of the characters on that show were awful. And with Chloe Sky being a bit apart from that, like she's bad on a whole nother level.
Yeah, they're like just on the bad on another level, and then if you go like maybe like 7 steps lower, then you get everything WB.
Hey, but you know what? Oh, come on! You're going to tell me these characters are better than the characters on Arrow? I'll give you. Arrow has 1 or 2 kind of annoying characters. Don't get me wrong, but there's a strength to Arrow that this show. Yeah. I mean, okay, obviously it's a pilot. Look, I'm gonna watch it. I could be singing a whole new tune in 5 or 6 episodes, but not a good start. Not a good start.
See, to me, this is where if this wasn't being overseen by Joss Whedon, I would probably be a lot more critical for it, but
I wish it wasn't overseen by Joss Whedon.
He has always paid off for me in the end.
To me, it was too Joss Whedon. It was too goofy. There was too many jokes. And I guess this is part of it's ABC at 8 p.m., so you can't actually do anything.
It's going to be corny. It's going to be dorky. It's going to be like, it's going to speak to the masses. It's not made for a lot of the comics purists. They'll throw a few things in there, but for the most part, it's like the masses, the same people that fucking go out and wear the Avengers shirt. They maybe read like a few of the comics and they watch all the movies. So what? There's nothing wrong with that.
To me, the pilot is just, it's in general a testing ground for a lot of things. Most shows don't find their actual footing, don't even find a lot of their tone. Because, I mean, the thing I love about a lot of Joss Whedon's past work, when you look at Buffy, you look at Angel, you look at this kind of stuff, is yes, it has some really fucked up dark storylines, but then it also has some really light stuff in there too. It's always sort of spun the gambit in everything he does. So the fact that the first one came off a little too jokey to me just kind of means the next one could be completely dark.
Yeah, sure, it's possible, and I am more than willing to watch a handful of more episodes. Yeah. I'm not done with one episode, but
I mean, for me, I went in excited, but after watching it, I was on the fence. I didn't really love it. I didn't really hate it, But I think what you said about Coulson was that Coulson we saw throughout those first phase of Marvel movies, right? And he had a very serious tone to him at times. Like he was, he was a strong character because he came on like that. And then in the Avengers movie, he kind of got this.
It was before the Avengers movie.
Yeah, but in the Avengers movie, it kind of, with the whole Captain America love thing, it's his character kind of went a little too far into the comedic range. And now with this show, it's kind of like that character. We're stuck with that character. So Coulson doesn't really have any. He's not as hard-assed as he was when we first saw him the first few times.
Who wants another hard-ass tool agent? Nobody.
But the thing is he's balanced out with his comedic timing from the films. Whereas here, it's not based from that. It's based more from.
It's not just him.
Well, yeah, but.
To me, there was nothing really wrong with the portrayal of Agent Coulson. I do agree that most of the other characters were entirely too cliched, but they also had no character development for them really in the pilot.
I laughed with that, stepping out of the shadows joke. And then there was a kind of another joke. And then another joke. And I'm like, this isn't like a sitcom, guys. Like, let's get some action. There was some good action. I'm not going to lie. Some of the action was pretty cool looking. But if this is blow your money on the pilot action, that's scary. Because if they can't keep up at least this level on a week-to-week basis based on what this show is and what this show is about, like, I think they may have bit off a bit more than they can chew. But like I said, obviously,
I guess for me,
I'm not going to stop.
This is a movie set because one thing I liked about the pilot is the obvious nod to Hydra that they had in there, which means that you have sort of an organization, which means you don't have to have the main antagonist always be the latest super-powered person that S.H.I.E.L.D. has to hunt down.
But here's a problem, though, going forward. What can the show do? Because the show is going to play second fiddle to every single movie coming up. Can they use Hydra? What if Captain America 3 early draft already has them using Hydra in it? They're going to be really hamstrung with what they can and can't use going forward. Like, there's talk of Gravitron, the guy, not the villain version, but the guy being in episode 3. I'm like, that's cool. But what are they going to do with Gravitron in this really down-to-earth show? And unless they want to start introducing a lot of superheroics, which Arrow says is going to happen in their second season, I don't see this being over the top every single episode to the level that I think the show might need to be. And if they're relying more on, we're going to have a lot of quips and a lot of Joss Whedon jokes and blah, 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 that's not what I want to see. Avengers was good. The action was incredible. The story was fun, but exciting the whole time. It wasn't just joke after joke after joke after joke.
Yeah,
with
but
a
it's a different
action.
format, right?
Okay,
just like you say, TV and movies are different, right?
So if you take the jokiness out of the show, what do you want from the show? What are you looking for this show to deliver? Because as you said, no matter what they do not have the budget to do movie level action, movie level effects. You can't blow up the city every episode.
But you can look at 24, Burn Notice, or any of these things that are,
which are not set in the Marvel universe.
No, but you could look at things like this that are like, we're going to be a little more serious. We're going to be a little more. This is super spy. Undercover, crazy.
They're talking about they're looking for those superheroes, those threats that are coming out or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
They're hunting. So, but we haven't really seen. The only thing we've seen is people hopped up on extremists mixed with alien technology. And
don't forget the Gamma.
Yeah, and the Gamma. My bad. But it's one of those things where the show kind of presents itself as, we're going after these problems before they become problems. Right, but like you said, if they're not going to be introducing superheroes or supervillains in this show on like a kind of down to earth basis, because that's the thing is like the action in Burn Notice is not completely and utterly like everything's movie scale. They take a car, they blow up the car, but it's still a blown up car. Whereas this, it's like the top floor of that building was just CG blown up.
I don't care about that. I don't care if it's real or CG. I mean, either way, it's fine. But to me, it needs to be, if you're gonna have like goofy, like Chuck kind of spy stuff, that doesn't seem like what I want from this. I want something that I want these guys to be like, okay, fuck, Hydra's gonna blow up the world. We have to go fucking undercover. We have to go join Hydra. We're gonna be killing fools left and right. We're gonna, we have to go in and do the dirty stuff that Cap and Thor and Iron Man can't do. And like, if it's like, oh, I'm gonna have like a playful cat fight in Paris with some lady, it's like, okay, I mean, whatever, sure. It was an okay fight scene, but like,
maybe they'll introduce Diamondback.
More of
I think that they're going to do a lot of that kind of stuff. They're going to introduce characters that aren't going to get any love on the big screen. I think they're going to introduce Wrecking Ball. They're going to do some stuff that I think Hickman was really good about with introducing like the kids of the big badasses that he did in Secret Warriors. Those are the kind of things I think that we're going to see because we're probably never going to see them in the big screen. Mm-hmm. It would be awesome too. But I want to bring back what Charlie started with before Ryan did his preemptive attack on how shitty this TV show is, giving a nod to all the films and giving more time, a medium where you can talk about things a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it starts with
with the characters.
It starts with a nod to Iron Man 3. Let's just leave it at that, okay?
Well, a nod to Iron Man 3, but of course, like some of the people on forums, some of the actors are jumping on in different forums and saying, "Oh yeah, I could see myself hanging out with Banner and having a conversation." Sure, Fitzsimmons or Fitzgerald, what the fuck it is. Yeah, it's corny and stupid, but you know what? It's ABC, dude. Whatever. I'm not expecting to be blown away.
And that's my problem. This
isn't
not
AMC. It's ABC.
Right? And that's the problem. This is for the 1.10 billion people that saw Iron Man 3 and enjoyed it because it's a thing they saw. Not for
and they buy the toys for their kids.
Not for the 0.0000001 billion comic book fans on Earth.
Yeah,
right?
This wasn't made for us. We can enjoy it. It's still entertaining, but it's not like, we just watched Breaking Bad. Like that. I mean, that's like groundbreaking shit. Like, it's incredible. But again, it's not for the masses.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm going to keep watching it, but yeah.
To me,
not happy with the first episode.
I'm not willing to speculate what the show will be from episode 2 on. I enjoyed the pilot.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to it. I think by the end of the first season, it's not going to be the same formula that you saw in the pilot. I think it will evolve. And
yeah, I hope so.
I'm pretty stoked to see Samuel L. Jackson in the next 3 episodes.
There's talk of him even being on tomorrow night's episode, right? Is that
I don't know.
Is that the rumor?
That's
I don't know.
I don't think it's going to happen.
I just go crazy with rumors like that because it doesn't matter what the facts are. That rumor would exist. It doesn't matter if he is on the show or not on the show.
No,
the rumor will exist.
I firmly believe that we will see no less than 2 of the main people from the Avengers in S.H.I.E.L.D. this season. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. would obviously be the big one. But that would be the hardest. I would say you get at least the Iron Man suit, you get Hulk running around at some point, and you get Sam Jackson. To me, I think that's a minimum. Obviously 2 CG and 1 actor.
Yeah.
See, this is where I get curious, honestly, because I don't know the specifics of the various contracts. Assuming they were specific in terms of movie appearances, I could see doing that. But if it had something to do with they'd have to give up one of the movie appearances to have him show up on the TV show. That wouldn't happen.
No.
For me too, like, I don't know, for whatever reason, I see like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They're always like just, or S.H.I.E.L.D. in general, for the most part, they're just all these like, humans, almost like these little like groupies that get to hang out with the heroes. But it makes me think about Justice League Unlimited, which is a show that you love and cherish, and you have all the toys like on your shelves. I'm a late I ended up watching it once they started, doing the marathons and checking that out. And I always thought, what a great story it would be for all the regular human beings that live on the Watchtower and do all the work and do all their remedial bullshit, make lunch and dinner. Wouldn't that be a great story? That's kind of hopefully what we'll get.
I mean,
you mean like the current Astro City story?
I
nice, yeah. Was that Kurt Busiek or
yeah? I totally want to see these humans of the Marvel Universe. I want to see S.H.I.E.L.D. running around and fighting Diamondback, and like you said, or the Wrecking Crew or shit like that. That would be so awesome. I just wish it was 65% more serious. That's all I'm gonna. It was too jokey. That Journey in the Mystery line almost made me shut the TV off. I almost fucking deleted my season pass from that line alone. I couldn't deal. I can't deal with it. I can't deal with that. There's a little bit of that. Okay, like the Daredevil movie. One of the worst things about that Daredevil movie was how every single person in that movie was named after a comic book creator or something. And I hate that shit. Arrow does it to a degree. Smallville definitely did it to a degree. I can take it a little bit.
They're just dropping knowledge, man. They're dropping knowledge, son. They're trying to. Not everyone has been in with the Mylar and the stinky pages of a moldy yellow shit in their face. You know, they don't have the same kind of viewpoint. They're coming from a different. They have to jump in now and they have to learn about it.
Inducing. It's the worst. I hate. It's not
to me that is entirely and completely aimed towards people like us, which
in the same way Big Bang Theory is. I hate it.
I find it funny that you hate it so much where there's a whole nother group that's like I got that and nobody else
because he doesn't want to be inclusive. He wants it to be exclusive.
When this shit first started,
I know with the Journey and Mystery line, I heard it and I was like, what? Because
it's so forced.
There's a difference between something coming out naturally and something being forced, and that was the problem with a lot of the humor here was it was forced.
Yeah. Too much of the humor is forced.
Well, and that's the other thing is like I'm looking at like breaking down the agents. It's like the main guy agent, right? The guy has it's the same fucking look on his face the entire fucking show, except when he gets drugged and he goes, "Oh, Nana," and I'm like, really?
I thought that was hilarious.
And then Sky or Chloe or whatever the fuck her stupid name is
Chloe 3.
Chloe 3, yeah. What? Why do I care about her character?
Oh, she's terrible. Like
she's beautiful. She's beautiful. She's Hapa. She's a Taiwanese singer. She actually made it to I think almost the end of what is it? America's Got Talent. I don't know.
She's gonna be like a major a regular character, right?
Yeah.
She's
huge.
And is not Luke Rage gonna be a major character as well?
Luke Rage. That's funny. You know, actually funny that everyone thought it was Luke Cage just because he's black.
Yeah. Or Rage.
Okay.
They all have the same powers.
Yeah. Anyways.
Well, and then you get to the two scientists, and they're basically just joke. Like, it's, oh, we can't do that. Oh, you have to.
It's really weird, but this is, Joss Whedon has done some amazing scientists over the years.
No, he has.
This is the first time his scientists have made me kind of go, those aren't scientists.
Omar can call me an Anglophile again, but I really wish this actually was Torchwood in the Marvel Universe. I'm fine with the level of humor Torchwood had. It was there, but it was never overpowering. It never took over the episode. I felt this is your starting spot, and not
again. You said it's a pilot, and we're all
sure.
We're all going to enjoy and love number 2, episode 2. We're all going to be like high-fiving each other, and we're like, oh, we forgot about the pilot because again. How long ago was this made with no other stories to follow?
Sure.
That's okay.
Sure.
Agent Coulson is no Captain Jack. I'm sorry.
That is true. Okay, we're going to move on.
It's pretty
here.
awesome, though. I love that.
I was really wishing Toby wasn't vomiting in the bathroom because he hated the pilot. He hated it way worse than I did. So I'd love to have him.
See, that's why we paid the taco. No.
So do you guys think that we're going to get Coulson as Vision or Ultron?
No, we'll get it. It'll most likely be just the life model decoys.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that'll be their way out for killing people in the future. Is that it wasn't really me. It was
how many times did Nick Fury die? Whatever.
Yeah. Sure,
so the show has potential. We just hopefully it finds a good balance between action, comedy, story, and all that stuff because the pilot didn't.
Be the shit though. Be the shit is if they bring back Hoff as actually the father of Nick Fury, and then it'll bring together the Ultimate Universe and everything together.
God, he could be original Nick Fury, patch and everything. Yeah.
Well, he keeps talking about how he hopes to play Nick Fury again.
Right?
So.
Yeah.
Come on, Hoff, come back.
That'd be awesome. All right. Let's see.
And it could be his car.
Yeah. It's like, here you go.
Yeah.
The car wasn't awful. The car, I was kind of like, okay, see. That's how you do a comic book reference that works, right? Because the flying car, we know that. No one else knows what that is, right? So I'm sure some people were like, well, that's kind of weird or cheesy or whatever. Maybe they didn't like her. I don't know what. But I was like, cool. Something from the comic book, not a name of a comic book forced into an awkward line. That's fine. I like that. I'm cool with oh, hey, that's a random character. It's a little bit different, but cool. He's actually in a thing. They're using Marvel characters. Awesome. I'm excited to see Graviton. Actually, a real villain in this thing. Although I don't know what type of, if he's going to be villain or he's going to be working for him or what. I don't know. I haven't looked at it yet. But cool. That's neat. Just just do something with it.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get a Baron Strucker yet, right? In Captain America.
Sure, all
Or any
that type of stuff.
stories?
Like if Hydra is not the main villain of this show, I will be really friggin' surprised because it should be, or AIM, at least AIM or Hydra, one of the two.
Well, they at least mentioned AIM in
Right.
Iron Man 3, so that's already there. But no, the only reason why it screams Hydra to me is, one, the whole experimentation kind of screamed Hydra to me for some reason with the centipede.
Totally.
The other thing is the line about the head, and that's completely Hydra. Anytime you mention cutting off the head, it's Hydra.
Another one grows, another 3, whatever.
That'd be awesome with that.
Another 2 tickets, please.
There you go.
All right. Let's see. Marvel has, over the last week, thrown out all these one-word kind of promo pieces for a bunch of new books they have coming out. It's all getting announced at New York Comic Con. I believe this is all the rumored Marvel, all new Marvel Now.
2.
Eye rolling right there. I believe this is all part of that. If I'm not mistaken, I mean, most people
Probably.
assume this is. I think this is all of them. I may have missed 1 or 2 of them here, but I pulled up a list of all of them. Let's see. Mind Bubble being the first one, which is a Rick Remender thing based off, assuming one of the things from his Captain America run. I guess he was in Uncanny X-Force as well, or after his Captain America run. I'm sorry, but based something out of his Uncanny X-Force run. I don't know, but we'll find out what that is. I don't know what that is all about. They actually just straight up announced, is it going to be all new She-Hulk or just She-Hulk #1 by Charles Soule and Javier Pulido, who, if I'm...
Charles Soule just writes 50 billion comics a month.
Yeah, apparently. This guy's on everything. And if I'm not mistaken, Pulido didn't he do some of the previous run of She-Hulk? Am I crazy? I thought he did some work on that during like the Dan Slott run, but... I'm not 100% sure. Maybe not. But he's a good artist. And Charles Soule seems pretty cool. She-Hulk has had just, failed book after failed book after failed book after failed book after... She's like the Defenders, right? Just failed after failed after failed after failed. So
Except Slott.
Hey, she doesn't have enough buy this cover kind of thing.
Yeah. That was the only time it was ever really popular. So we'll see how long this lasts. We don't know.
Maybe we'll get She-Hulk and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Dan Slott and Michael Allred have something called Rad, which I would assume something to do with Silver Surfer, Norman Rad, sorry.
Or it could be the new Warriors.
Possibly.
Yeah, it could be Black Skateboarder, Night Thrasher.
Well,
Night Thrasher and Speedball.
It's silver, and it says Rad. But Dan Slott and Michael Allred doing a Silver Surfer book?
That sounds super weird.
Yeah, that's like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. of TV shows. It sounds way too goofy when it should be way serious. Now, I actually liked the way Silver Surfer was in that issue of Daredevil that just popped up recently, the Mark Waid one. That felt a little old school, a little light, but it worked for the storyline, and I wouldn't mind a series around that. But I don't know. Dan Slott tends to be a little more kind of goofy, especially with what he's been doing with Superior Spider-Man recently. And Michael Allred, his art is always known to be based on series that are weird or quirky, like FF or Ecstatics, Madman, things like that. So,
which
I don't know.
A series out in space and stuff could actually really suit.
I hope it's a Norrin Rad's like 16-year-old son that's like a surfer, like a surfer or something like that, like in the 80s, and he's all like rad,
and then he can hang out with Thane, Thanos' son, and they can cruise around together. Talk about how cool they are.
Peter David and his artists. I'm not gonna have to pronounce his last name. Corporate is their line, which I'm assuming this is a creative team behind X-Force or X-Factor. I'm sorry, so I'm assuming this is somehow a new X-Factor book.
I would assume so, since they mentioned there was a little bit of a teaser towards the end of X-Factor on stuff. So,
which I have not read X-Factor in many, many years, but I know has a lot of good fans, or a lot of big fans.
And they're going to start putting out thicker trades.
I
love thicker trades.
Oh, of his run, the Peter David run? That's cool. Yeah, there's like 18 or 19 volumes or something crazy right now, right?
Yeah,
He's a lot of
so,
volumes.
How is Peter David doing? Is his health getting better?
I'm not sure. I've no.
From what I've seen from like what he's posted, it seems to
Oh, that's
he,
cool.
he seems to be able to go back to work essentially. So
Dan Slott and Kamunkoli,
Come on.
the artist on Superior Spider-Man, and Dan Slott being the writer of Superior Spider-Man, have a series called The End. Again,
Didn't
Most
that happen
people are-
already?
The End. Well,
most people are thinking the end of Superior Spider-Man.
right, which he said he's already... I thought he was already plotted through like 50 or something like that. Didn't he say he was already
Well,
way
with how
far
quickly
ahead?
they're coming out. I mean,
50's going to be here in March.
It could be pretty soon. So, and I know we've talked to Superior Spider-Man recently. It's continued to be really funny.
Yeah, I love
Now,
that book.
Fun, I should say, not funny, but fun.
It's great to read another Spider-Man book. Like I haven't picked up a Spider-Man book in like I don't know how many years.
It is a nice kind of break from the traditional Peter Parker Spider-Man. See, my problem with Peter Parker always comes back to, unless they tried to do this sort of continuity reset with the One More Day, Brand New Day crap. But to me, it's like you're with the Avengers, you're with the FF, you have a supermodel girlfriend, you've worked for the greatest newspaper in the world. All this stuff that they set up. It's sort of hard to it's not feel sorry for the guy, but like that sort of that darn Peter Luck.
Yeah.
I'm banging Mary Jane tonight. It's like you kind of. And when they take that stuff away, it's also then like kind of
No, he's not banging her tonight because his spider sense is going to go off. He's got to go help somebody.
But that's what I mean. It's like when they take that stuff away, it then sort of feels like, okay, now you're just forcing this stuff away. Like when they killed her in the 90s and she was dead and now we're doing this retcon thing. That's like, it all feels kind of weird. Like,
Well, Slott gets Spidey. Like he really tells a fantastic Jay Jonah. I love him as a mayor.
Yeah.
I think it's so dope. Like I love like just his candor, the way he talks, and it's like that fucking spider. It's like the same old shit as if I was reading books back in like the the Romita, like the senior shit, like the 80s. I love how he always has like 2 or 3 girls he's kind of juggling. But that's Doc Ock. He has like his little midget chick, small person chick.
But that's what I like about the Doc Ock version is that he's sort of like, I can throw all those tropes of Spider-Man out the window and just be like, sure, why not? Why wouldn't I do this? Normally Peter Parker wouldn't, but now I can because I'm not Peter Parker. So it is a nice kind of break.
It sucks though. I really want him to get his PhD, but it's not going to happen because he's still Peter Parker.
Jonathan Hickman, Nick Spencer, and Stefano Caselli have Global, assuming it's Avengers related.
Global, huh?
Because Avengers.
No, it's the new S.H.I.E.L.D. book.
Global
Yeah,
Guardians.
it could be. Well, they're the original team on Secret Warriors.
Yeah, I mean some fashion
Avengers family
of
book.
Avengers. Right. It could be a new Secret Warriors book. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't get into the first series. You loved it though.
Yeah, I really
Omar.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Secret War. I enjoyed the first part of it, and then towards the end,
I
it
need
kind
to
of lost
finish
me.
it.
They stretched it out a little bit, but whatever.
Yeah. Oh, and I guess Warren Ellis is taking over Avengers Assemble. He's doing an arc. I don't know if he's taking over
I
permanently.
hope he lasts a while on it because I want him to be writing comics.
He doesn't do anything anymore.
I really loved his Secret Avengers. That was fun.
And then
like
Kelly
side issues.
Sue DeConnick and David Lopez, creators on Captain Marvel. There's a book called the teaser is Higher. So some new Captain Marvel garbage from them. So congratulations.
Because
Garbage.
the last garbage was. Wait a second.
Isn't Van Meter pretty
Again.
popular though?
Popular on Tumblr. That book.
Wait, how many of those books do you order and sell?
Popular.
Let's look.
Kind of like 7 copies of Captain Marvel, I think. Tumblr loves it. That's all I'm going to say.
The femme
That's all I'm going to say.
community loved it.
Okay, so Tumblr loves it, but how does it rank in terms of sales charts? That's what really matters.
I mean, horrible.
Yeah, Pinterest, because Pinterest doesn't really equate to money. right?
Captain Marvel is up there with the Fearless Defenders and that Wolverine title.
I should tell
I'm
you.
pretty sure the Wolverine probably sells better than Captain Marvel.
Wolverine is here, and I mention it on Twitter every now and again, so people are probably sick of me saying this. I believe I guess Red She-Hulk is gone. Because that's gone completely, right? Morbius is done. What other? Captain Marvel. Actually, Captain Marvel is number 88 in the top 300 at 23,000 copies. That's respectable, and the stuff around it I sell way more. Dude, okay. Captain Marvel number 15 sold 23,000. Swamp Thing sells 22,000. I sell like 6 or 7 copies of Captain Marvel. I sell like 40 or 50 copies of Swamp Thing.
Yeah, and because you're a DC swamp,
Like,
you're a swamp. You're like a DC cesspool of a shop.
Like the numbers around here. Okay, I'm gonna give. Let's actually take a look. This is from the
let's
August.
look up the Wolverine one.
Oh, Wolverine, just Wolverine. I mean, I sell so little Wolverine, it's ridiculous.
Like Cornell?
Yeah, I sell like 4 copies.
Wow.
Well, that's why I want to know where it actually
2
shows.
subscribers. 41 at
See?
39,000 copies. Close to it. So I get 6 copies of Wolverine. I sell like 4 or 5, right? Nightwing, I get, I believe, 38. Captain America, which is right below Wolverine, I get 25. Flash, I get about 40. I mean, all the books around it, Superior, Spider-Man Team Up, I get like 20. Superior Carnage, I get like 5. Earth 2, I get like 60, right? I mean, my numbers versus industry numbers are way in flux. Like,
That's why I was questioning whether
Yeah.
or not it's just Tumblr that loves it. Since
yeah.
It all doesn't matter.
But then,
what
like,
the internet
Saga
says.
is number 22. I get like 90 copies of Saga. Like, I get like that's like my second or third highest book ever, right? I mean, compared to top 10. Yeah, Superior Spider-Man. I get way more of some of these books around it. Like, how is Superior Spider-Man over All New X-Men? That's crazy talk. Anyway,
It's a better book.
I like All New X-Men. I don't see people selling more copies of Superior Spider-Man than All New X-Men. That's hard to believe that there are stores out there selling like 10% more Superior Spider-Man than All New X-Men.
I could
Ben, just on an X-Men title, I have a hard time believe stores are selling more Spidey than
But
that.
Spidey's gotten a lot more attention in terms of mainstream media and all that with everything than all new X-Men.
Maybe.
It's whatever shop Dan Slott goes to.
Yeah, they get them all.
They get 'em all.
I'll be curious. I should take my books sold, like the August ordered books, and I can export them out on a spreadsheet and see what my ordered and sold numbers were compared to kind of national average. That should be interesting.
Are we going to get like a $20.99 book? I want it. I want Miguel.
You know they are.
There's some in their quarter bins.
Yeah.
I want Miguel to come back.
You know they're going to. All right, we got a bunch of questions here.
All right,
let's do
answer
this. And then we definitely want to talk about JLA Earth 2. Actually, let's talk about Earth 2 first.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, let's talk about Earth 2, and then we'll finish up with some questions. We should have a little bit of extra time. Omar.
Sleazy Justice League. That's what we're getting. We're not going to get it from Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns is going to do the dark.
Tell us the book. Tell us who wrote it. Give us the whole
Everyone
spiel.
knows. Everyone knows.
Give us a good spiel, not
Okay,
Bryce
this
spiel.
this is the Comics Conspiracy Month 4 Book of the Month Club, which is Omar's pick, which was
And no Jeff Johns digs.
Okay, so listen.
well, what book is it?
This book
What book?
is only like 40 pages.
What book?
It comes to you from the guys of Scotland, Glasgow. Both of them, actually.
Just so everyone knows,
They're both pretty good-looking men. Like, if I was European, I wouldn't mind looking like these guys. Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely, 2 of my favorite creators, like, ever. And for me, I never really was into them. It's so funny how I'm always a late bloomer with the good shit. But I went back and read this. I didn't read it in 2000 when it came out. But, man, this book just stuck with me. Because
What book is this?
it's called JLA Earth 2. And for those of you that are reading Forever Evil right now, it's okay so far. Just started. I'm not going to judge it on its pilot issue. But it starts from the beginning with, like, of course, Lex Luthor coming in. And,
Well, hold on. Before you start this, I want to give a little backstory, not just to this book, but specifically to DC at the time.
okay,
if
let's
you don't
hear
mind.
it. No, please.
DC at this time was releasing a shit ton of original graphic novels, something they've really slowed down with in the last handful of years. Justice League specifically, and Batman obviously, but specifically Justice League at the time because it was such a monumental hit for them. The Grant Morrison run, kind of end of the 90s, early 2000s. It seemed like almost every other month there was a new graphic novel coming out, but this one actually was one of the few that tied in directly to directly to the main series. Shortly after, there was a JLA JSA one, the Thanksgiving one, which the name is slipping. My name of it's slipping my head right now. But the JLA JSA crossover won by Jeff Johns.
Lightning Strikes?
No. During this time.
During this time.
Yeah, there was the Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
I'm totally blanking on it. But anyway, we'll figure it out. So this came out in the middle of a lot of other of these books coming out, but this is one of the very few that was actually done by the ongoing creative team of the title. So, sorry, Omar, go ahead.
No. That's fine. It's cool because it's like JLA Earth 2 is actually Earth here. I love that Lex. I'm a big Lex fan, so he's definitely feels like the hero. He actually is the hero, but it's kind of like it's not the Lex that we all know. Well, because he's from a different Earth. Is it Earth 3? Is it still referred to as Earth 3 in this book, or is does he consider himself Earth 1? Because I think that's what he is referring to.
Right. So Earth 2, if you go way back pre-Crisis, Earth 2 was where the Justice Society was from, right?
Okay.
They sort of reused that concept after Crisis because there was no multiverse anymore. So when this is the first time the Crime Syndicate shows up post-Crisis. So when they reintroduced the Crime Syndicate, who originally were from Earth 3, because Earth 1 was JLA, Earth 2 was JSA, Earth 3 was the Crime Syndicate, which is the evil version of the JLA.
Yeah.
And Lex Luthor, Alexander Luthor from Earth 3, who sacrificed themselves in Crisis on Infinite Earths, came back in Infinite Crisis. He is the only hero of that world. So, yeah. So, in the joke in this, when Luthor comes over, he's like, I'm going to call this Earth 2, meaning the main JLA world, the main DC universe is Earth 2 to him. Right? This is pure. This is what. I mean, this is exactly where the All-Star Superman Luthor comes from. This is cut right out of the page of JLA Earth 2 and dropped into All-Star Superman.
And that's what I love. Just the creative juices flowing into these pages, I feel, are just so high. I don't know what Trevor's thinking when he was reading this book. Again, let me continue the saga from last week. But like, when you see what they do, first of all, you're playing. This isn't like, sure, we have Kyle Rayner, yeah, we have Aquaman with his hook. We have Captain Hook, Aquaman. But I mean, like,
I won't hear it.
Why are you making that sound like it's a bad thing?
Me and Charlie are like, "What? You got a problem with Hook, Aquaman? What's up?
You have
What's
a problem with Kyle?
well, this is what I'm saying. Like,
And dude,
no,
and Wally.
listen,
when was the last time
can I
we
finish?
read Wally?
Can I finish?
It's been years.
These are serious heroes that are getting like they just get to. This is like a sandbox that I feel like you can't really touch Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman in because this is kind of like an Elseworlds story, right? You can't touch him now and make him fucking be battling dudes that are like doing speed and crank and all this other shit. Like, that's just not happening.
He's doing slow-mo.
Oh, slow-mo. Okay. That's funny. It's the same thing. Like,
So you can have Ultraman snorting kryptonite?
It's the same thing. I mean, that's where it's from.
Okay, that was cool. No, okay. In
I'm
Forever
just
Evil,
saying
though.
that
In Forever
yeah.
Evil, but it's not a Justice League. It doesn't have a title. It says Justice League.
No,
JLA.
No.
JLA is Justice League. I mean,
Johns took this. This is his version of the Crime Syndicate. I mean, he took this almost, almost verbatim.
No, I'm just saying that they do not seem to have downplayed a lot of those tendencies. They're still there within the current story.
True, but even look at this. You pulled out a book that you want to read some good Jeff Johns shit. You're pulling Secret Society off the shelf. Like, give me a title that and that's the reason why it's cool because they can get away with so much shit by using Riddler or Two-Face or whatever that aren't the big names that sell. You can't do all the super mature shit in a Superman title. That's what I'm getting at.
But Morrison did it with JLA
at the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, like I said, I only read like a few of those, not few, like 10 of those issues, like the first year and a half.
Dude.
Oh man,
you have to go back.
I got them all. No, I got them all. I just need to read them.
Yeah, you do. Don't make me pick more Morrison for my pick to make you read the rest of
You're
it.
not allowed to pick
Many
Morrison for
cool
at least 2 more
concepts. Like, okay, so it's like backwards, right? It's like Bizarro
So are you
World.
just trying to turn this book club into not like a comic book club, but a Morrison comic book club?
Why not? Why
It was
not?
going to happen anyway.
I love Morrison. And I think Toby said he loves Morrison too when he talks, but just not when he's reading it. I just opened the page of the thing I really loved that so many people didn't really enjoy, which was when Owlman went into, he's in Earth 2, and he finds that his dad's already dead. He doesn't get to kill him.
Well, torment him.
Or torment him, whatever you want to call it. But, like, because if I'm reading this wrong, Thomas Wayne Owlman Jr., right, is the the MR brother that we never really talk about that was put in an asylum.
Yeah, I mean, he brought him back. What's his
Snyder.
face? Snyder brought him back in his first arc of Batman.
Yeah.
Which, in theory, means there's 2 Thomases.
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just
I
love
think about
that. I love that. I love it. It's so good. I love him making out with Lois Lane the whole time. It's just like, come on, man. That's sure. But Lois and Ultraman should still be together. But it's just like, I've never been a Superman fan, and the fact that it's just some regular superhero that was thrown in, and the aliens played with his body and his physiology, and he came back super. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I love it. All the concepts, the storytelling, it's just like way out there, and it's very mature. It's good. It's like he wrote this book for me.
Well, one of the things I particularly like about this book is and this in general about the Crime Syndicate, is it's not exactly like it's mirror versions of the various heroes, but it's not like this is the evil Bruce Wayne. No, it's Thomas. It's not like this is the evil Kal-El. It's somebody else. It's not the evil Wonder Woman. It's the evil Lois Lane. There's no, like, yes, there was some little bit of correlation in some, but not like across the board. This is a twisted mirror. This isn't just we're going to play with the evil versions of everybody.
No, totally. Yeah, well, I mean, because how can you have these creative guys just do some bullshit story? That's just impossible,
Well,
right?
but going back to Justice League Unlimited, like I did like the Justice Lords and that.
Oh,
like
loved it.
I do
Loved
love
it.
when they do tweaked versions of characters. Like that's how you get Red Sun. That's how you get a lot of those great stories as well. But I love the fact that this specifically doesn't do that. This is like a whole different set of characters with a whole different history that the more layers you kind of peel back, you kind of find out, okay, so Bruce is dead, but his dad's alive. His dad's a commissioner. He's being tormented by his son. And like, it's just a much more fleshed out universe rather than just this one thing caused this universe to go. No, it's much deeper than that. And I do definitely appreciate that.
Real quick, I just want to jump in here. One of our questions on Twitter is from Lou, who asks, why does my JLA Earth 2 trade paperback say that Grant Morrison is 74 years old? Or is that 74 in reference to something else? Look in the back of the book.
I saw that too. I was
Check yours, Omar. On the very back, because you have a different
says-
printing than Brock.
Mine
Does
says
it say
74, yeah.
74?
74.
Yeah. Grant Morrison's not 74 years old, so that's a weird. Maybe 44, I'm assuming, is what it was supposed to say. That's a weird misprint, so.
Well, because Quietly it says 31.
Yeah. Quietly's not that young, though. That's the thing. I don't know.
Was
maybe
he that young when this was written?
No, I don't think so. Quietly and Morrison were doing stuff around the same time. They're
Maybe on Earth 2 there.
maybe.
Maybe that's their preferred Earth number.
Maybe. Brock, would you?
I mean, I've read. This is the second time I've read this year. I read it for the first time back in March, and I enjoyed reading it. I remember I watched the what was
Crisis on Two Earths.
Crisis on Two Earths DC movie, which it was based off of this.
Yeah, a
which,
little bit. Yeah.
You know, I really enjoyed that, and then going and reading this, you know, it was fun. The one thing I do like about, like, at least Quietly's artwork is his grandiose kind of things. One of the things I remember always out of this is Luthor's desk.
Oh
It's
yeah,
just
that big,
huge,
that big oak,
like redwood tree.
Yeah, redwood tree
or sequoia, whatever.
Yeah.
It's like
It's huge.
I'm like, it's huge, and there's nothing on the desk. It's like he just fuck it. I want the base of this tree to be my desk, and I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah,
you know, the airplane, the crime syndicate's watchtower. You know, there's a lot of Kyle Rayner enveloping the Earth with two green hands, or the moon with two green hands.
That was a fantastic scene.
That was awesome, and showed how powerful Green Lantern could be.
You know, there's a scale in this book that Morrison and Quietly constantly hit when they team up that I really, really enjoyed. And I mean, I like the fact that, you know, it was Lois as Wonder Woman or Bad Woman. I don't know if it would.
Yeah, Superwoman.
Superwoman.
Don't you love pervy Jenny Olsen?
Well, the weird part about that.
Well, I like that she calls him Jenny Olsen, and then we get Jenny Olsen.
He's such a little bitch.
in Superman.
The thing I think that disturbed me the most about that scene was that it looks like he's sucking dick at the top of that panel, like, oh,
Dude,
and I'm like,
what? I really feel like what Morrison sketched it out as is him in like a little fucking S&M suit, you know, and that's what kind of her outfit is.
Oh yeah,
portrayed as.
yeah.
But you know, I liked, I liked the fact that the changes in this were subtle. They were great. I like Alman. The Alman character.
Alman.
I mean, Alman.
Tomato.
Well, because they brought Alman into the regular DCU, so it's like it's nice to kind of have
It's a beautiful costume. I love the character.
two separate things going on
Roy
there.
Harper Jr.
But yeah, I mean, overall, I think it's a really great book. I mean, there is some more Morrison-isms in it.
Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Well, and kind of gaps in like, keep telling me your Morrison story, but you stop and you jump somewhere else, and I'm kind of like,
Well, I don't know. I think the strength of something like this just has to do with the idea of universal constants and rules and that kind of thing. That it just, the universe doesn't work in a way where the Justice League can win there.
Well,
Like,
you know what?
The universe will corrupt whatever they do. It's just
When this
the
book
nature of
came
that
out,
universe.
When this book came out, I remember a lot of people didn't like it because they were like, "Oh, there's no action; it just sort of ends." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's the point of the book. Is that it's very there's definitely action, but it is a lot of action light, or it happens sort of off panel because obviously you see the crime syndicate, trying to destroy the world, the regular DC universe, and trying to be stopped, but." All right, no, I guess they did get stopped, but because they cannot win here, because that is the laws of this world, that evil, the good always wins, and on their side, the Justice League cannot win. And to me, it's like you don't even need to see the punches. The act that this is the laws of these universes is interesting enough concept. You don't need to see the attempt.
Well, the thing is, the whole book ends where it's supposed to end. The Justice League wins, right? Because they do save the day, right? And the crime syndicate is plotting what they're going to do to destroy Earth 2. I mean, it's great. It sets it up for more.
Well, they definitely set up the crime syndicate as like, we're bored, all right, and so this gives them something, all right, to make them no longer bored. So and that.
I love his portrayal. I know Morrison thinks so highly of politicians, and
Yeah.
they're like all coming up, just like, no, man, I can't be bought off.
Yeah.
Owlman's all flying. You should have traded with me.
Yeah.
That's like such a fucking like totally nerdy reference. Like, nerds like to trade.
Yeah.
It's crazy. One thing I also want to say is, okay, in comparison to the lofty XXX giant-sized book that we just read, it was like probably 4 times this.
Oh, yeah, easy.
There's like this old Hamlet quote or something, Shakespearean quote. Brevity is the soul of wit.
Yeah.
Take that, my man. Where you at, my man?
Bryce hopefully
Bryce?
should be here next week, I think. So they want to talk about this, too, but he called in for a meeting. Toby apparently wanted to be here, too, but is he doing
That
okay?
taco stand killed me.
Hey, but at least we get to find out what Charlie's book of the month is going to be next month.
Well, I know what Toby's pick is.
Oh, do you?
So
No, but he needs to
Well, he
announce
has to
it.
say
Yeah, he'll announce it next week.
Let's
You can't.
No. Why don't we just skip? We skipped
We
already.
can skip. It's fine.
We can skip.
Because I haven't figured out my book.
Oh,
You're on the
really?
spot, and you have till the end of the podcast to figure it out.
Think.
I know Toby's pick. I'll tell him, and he can
Fine.
give the whole spiel next week.
This is fun though. This is a really good idea. Whose idea was this again? Jonathan or Joshua? Joshua.
Joshua, one of the guys, and
Yeah.
one of the other guys on our
Good
group.
call.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
I like actually reading a book. It reminds me of like, the days when I was being a total douchebag in San Francisco, going to book clubs just to hook up with girls.
Don't you still do that?
He said
Did I just say that out loud?
He said there was a chance he may switch out his pick at the last minute. So if he does, next week we may have a different pick. But the pick he wanted was
Well,
the
no, wait. We haven't done our Omars.
Oh, okay.
We have
sure.
to do our Omars.
Okay.
Charlie, how many Omars do you give JLA Earth 2 out of 10?
I'm going to go ahead with 8.5 Omars.
8.5 Omars.
I mean, this is not the best of Morrison's JLA. That would be Rock of Ages. But to me, I mean, this is nine Omars. This is almost. I mean, his whole run is 9 Omars, except for the Shaggy Man story, which I hated. Everything else is great. So yeah, sure, I'll give it a 9.
I'd probably have to go with a 8 Omars.
Yeah, mine's 9. 9 Omars.
Good.
I know that the voters on the blog voted 11. They liked it. 1 didn't like it, and 1 was indifferent.
How'd they get 11?
Right.
I had 13 votes.
Oh.
His
So-
system is just literally.
Do you like it?
You
Do
like
you not
it?
like it? Or you
dislike
indifferent?
or
No, keep it
indifferent?
simple. That's great.
So, I mean, majority of people liked it. So, yeah.
Okay, well, Toby will have much more to say about this next week. I don't want to spoil his pick too much here, but we got to pick something. So, his pick is the Jim Henson Tale of Sand graphic novel from Archaea, which is
Is it in print?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's right there.
It's actually it's an adaptation of an unproduced screenplay.
Okay.
That he had done.
That
years
sounds
and years
something
ago.
like something
So,
nerdy.
So yeah, a very different pick than some of our recent stuff. Yeah, we didn't get anyone else except for Trevor except for Anani Mouse on our forum that talked about this. So hopefully after this week, you guys can maybe jump on there and tell us what you thought about this. Book if you read it. So
And I'm sure Toby will tell us what he thought of Earth too.
yeah, he made a nice little.
If you can get out of the shop tonight.
Yeah.
And Bryce,
Yeah.
if you read
I
it.
love how
Bryce
we're
comes
dragging the explanations of these on for like 2 or 3 episodes.
Well, that's because it's the book of the
Toby!
month.
Cool here.
So the talk lasts a month.
Oh yeah,
Did Toby make it?
Yeah, he's back.
he's coming.
Toby, do you want to tell us a little bit about your pick?
No, I don't think he wants to talk right now.
Okay.
I think he was talking enough out of both sides of his ass.
All right. Well,
What about questions? Did we go through questions?
yeah, we got questions still. We got time.
Yeah,
We got plenty of time here. Yeah, we got at least a couple here.
Sucks.
Let's see. This is from Stefano. It says, now that the month is up, how did Villains Month do? Better, worse, same as Zero Month? And did it pull in new customers? Also from Lou, what was the group's favorite and least favorite Villains Month book? So at least I can talk to the sales side. I haven't read too many of them yet. Way better than Zero Month. Way better. Not as good as New 52 number 1, obviously, but still good. New customers, yeah, a bunch of scalpers. None of them will be back next month, so it's fine. But that's expected. I mean, that's the way it works. This was difficult. This is a big DC Villains Month because of the allocations. Caused this weird fever among certain books. But then it's a weird thing because I think if it didn't happen, I think a lot of stores would have been stuck with a lot of these. Because I know in the big books, I did not get nearly the traction I thought I would have. And that was even me cutting a few of them back. If I had gotten full orders on every title, maybe looking... because New 52 number 1 sold. They all sold. I think a lot of people were thinking these covers and this thing was going to hit, and it did well. It did very well. But I don't think it did as well as a lot of stores ordered. So, or had they got their full order. So maybe a little blessing in disguise. We'll never know. Yeah. But Charlie, I think you're caught up. Brock, you're caught up on the villain stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are there some you like, some you didn't like? And Omar, have you read much of them yet?
Yeah, I read a bunch of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess to go back to the one that I handed Omar. I'm
so good.
Very partial to the Secret Society number 1 right now. Whether or not my answer will change later, that right now would probably be my favorite. Now, in terms of my least favorite, I would definitely say the Bizarro number 1. That was my least favorite.
I think Brock hated that one too, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, that one was
Yeah, that one was horrible.
Pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I found most of the Superman ones pretty bad.
I like the Doomsday a lot. Doomsday was awesome.
Doomsday wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I know the Zod was really good up until they found him as a kid.
I like the problem with me with like the Zod one is I like parts of what they did on it, and then there were other parts that bothered me. The Parasite one was what I would call a general like, okay, I read that book. I don't necessarily regret reading the book, but it doesn't get me interested.
What was it
or
with
wanna...
DC in the last week having kids and a mom in danger? At the end of Parasite,
you always
with
need
Ocean
a kid
Master.
and a mom in danger.
Oh, okay, just checking.
It's so sexist.
Most of the Batman,
How was that sexist?
most of the Batman villain ones were very good.
Yeah.
I wasn't partial to the Mr. Freeze one, but most of the rest
Mr.
of
Freeze
them
one
were-
was kind of disappointing, and I was surprised because I picked it up based only because it was Palmiotti and Gray.
So,
Well-
I mean, are we just in the point now where are we just giving up on Superman almost entirely?
Dude, like I was
DC?
pissed.
I just said the Doomsday book was good.
Oh, 1 out of 5.
No, but like Lex
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Luthor.
I'm sorry. 1 out
Luthor
of
wasn't bad.
21.
It's all right.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm kind of pissed that Lex Luthor is not stealing the show right now. Like this is such a
Well-
great opportunity for Johns to like, I don't know. It's just like he's like all like, oh, where are you, Superman? He's like such a little fucking bitch. I don't like that.
The Lex Luthor #1. The Lex Luthor #1 was another one that was good.
I don't like the tone. I don't like him. This is the world he wanted. He doesn't get a Superman anymore, so he can step up to the plate. What's up?
Yeah, but I like the fact that he's convinced that something's wrong because Superman's obsessed with him and isn't there keeping an eye on what he's doing. I like that. I like the fact that in his mind,
that's an interesting
Superman's
perception.
The ones who's obsessed with him, not the other way around.
Well, and I liked how Lex Luthor led directly into Lex getting on the helicopter in the beginning of Forever Evil. Like, I loved that story took us straight into Forever Evil with Lex. Some of the books did a great job tying in with what was going on. Some of the books were kind of and then, hey, look, we're all gathering around and we're doing our own separate thing. One book that I actually enjoyed that I didn't think I was going to enjoy, I enjoyed the Cheetah #1. I'm not really reading Wonder Woman, but from the Cheetah stuff that I read,
that was
Justice League.
That was all Justice League so far.
Yeah, but it was the Wonder Woman where they had her featured.
I understand that. I'm just saying that Cheetah has not appeared in the actual Wonder Woman comic as of yet. Just like one of my rants from this week, just for the sake of ranting, is the fact that the Black Adam was the Justice League of America .4 that at the very end of the book said... League? Well, but at the end of the book, it's like, see more Black Adam in Justice League.
Yeah. One of the worst books I think I read was Lobo.
I liked Lobo.
That one was, for me, horrid.
I liked it.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Just because you love Lobo so much?
No. I didn't.
He modeled his entire life off Lobo.
To me, it didn't catch me. It didn't bring me into the Lobo character, and it made me go, well, what Lobo are we talking about? You know, is Lobo real? Is Lobo not real?
It's a fake. That would be awesome if the real original Lobo was a fake. That's cool.
I mean, I've only read a little bit of stuff that has Lobo in it, so I'm not,
Lobo's stupid.
Lobo was also like another Wolverine character, right? He's made by Len Wein. He's like the same guy that did Wolverine.
Was he made by Len Wein? I mean, he is a parody of Wolverine at the end of the day. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know, because he first appeared in
some space book.
Yeah, he first appeared in
what's the name of it?
Yeah, I'm totally drawing a blank. Yeah.
Anyways, we'll find out about that. I'm just gonna jump in there. My favorite book that I've been pimping the fuck out of in the shop and to other people at other shops is Two-Face. First of all, because Two-Face is a G. He's mad G. He plays both sides of the coin, literally and figuratively.
Omega Man. I know, created by Roger Sliffer and Keith Giffen.
Huh.
Yeah, but Omega Man. Like, it popped in my head before I looked it up.
But also because of it being Tomasi, Tomemuro, and Gilliam March. Well, my faves.
I like the Two-Face was good too because it tied in with the backups in Detective.
Well, I also like with the Two-Face that... Okay. Just to get into it a little bit, one of my favorite things about Villain Month, being Villain Month, is not everybody came out on the crime syndicate side. And that made it more interesting. There's all sorts of people who, like, at the end of their books were pretty much like, yeah, I'm not having this. This is not...
Yeah, like Manta.
Yeah, like Manta, Black Adam. There, a lot of people like ended up on the, like, you can see this is going to be the group that's going to stand up to the crime syndicate. These are the technically villains of the current DC universe who don't want these guys.
Yeah.
I think I really enjoyed reading the Deadshot, and how it actually tied in with Harley at the end. Like, I like that little...
Geekbox founder and main podcast host Ryan Scott wants to know which books feature the Suicide Squad.
So, Deadshot, Harley...
That's pretty much it.
Just those two? They're the only two members of the squad that have their own books.
Those are the only two that really...
Forever Evil, technically.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, the Aquaman ones, tie-ins were good. Black Manta...
Didn't you hate Joker's daughter?
Joker's daughter was... not really that good.
Joker's daughter's not going to matter in a week.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter in a day. Whoever paid that like $19 for the melted copy is just...
There was a melted copy that went for $19.
That's unbelievable. Yeah.
Jesus.
Right.
Yeah, I've been reading Catwoman, and
it's a chore, man.
I know.
I gave up on Catwoman.
But she briefly appears in issue 23,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, and then we see who Joker's daughter is, and you're like, oh, and then it's like, are we ever going to get out from underground? Because I don't know about you, but I've been tired of the underground since they went down there.
We got a few more questions here before we wrap up. This is from Don, who asks, will Forever Evil and Lights Out really change things significantly, that being two of the current big crossovers in DC, or will things go back to post 52 right after? Lights Out won't change anything because it's a 1 month Green Lantern crossover. I don't. Lights Out's not going to do anything.
Based on what's already been done, I kind of get the impression they're like Relic already showed up and wiped out everybody but Saint Walker in terms of the Blue Lanterns. See, I'm just going to spoil all this crap because that's what I do.
It's fine.
Nice spoiler tag.
No one cares.
asshole.
No one cares. No one cares about Blue Lanterns.
But that's sort of my point is it seems like what they're doing in Lights Out is obviously it's not going to take down the Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah.
Nobody believes it's going to.
Nah.
It's not going to take down the Red Lantern Corps because there's still a Red Lantern Corps book.
Yeah.
Well,
But I have a feeling what you're going to see is they're going to sort of minimize the number of active Lantern Corps out there with this event.
Which
So,
is good.
yeah.
Because
Build it back up. Yeah.
it's Lights Out is basically all the entities die.
Right.
I mean, that's where, I mean,
That's
how
part
did
of
they-
where it's going.
Yeah,
but
I mean- They're
not gonna die.
this is all having to do with Relic going around basically wiping out cores.
So is he the God Hunter from Thor?
he must catch them all.
lights, it's Light Bomb.
And the Forever Evil, I mean, it's going to change a few things. Sure, I mean, Nightwing apparently his outed status quo is going to stick around, but we'll see.
Maybe Pandora can
for the rest of it. Michael, longtime customer, Michael, what's up? Asks Rat Queens and Brain Boy. Rat Queens from Image Comics by creators behind,
Curtis Weave,
behind
Peter Pan's ass.
Peter Panzerfaust, and Brain Boy, who I have no idea who's doing. If I believe Brain Boy's from Dark Horse, is that correct?
I haven't read Brain Boy.
He
Red
asks,
Queens.
he asked best comics of September or best comics ever. I'm believing that's a little bit of a trolley question there, Michael, so I'm going to read it as such. But I didn't read Brain Boy. I didn't order Brain Boy. I ordered one for you, Michael. I'm sorry I didn't get any shelf copies. Rat Queens, I ordered a handful of. I got about halfway through the first issue.
Oh, Ryan.
I got to finish it. It wasn't doing. I like fantasy stuff. It didn't do anything for me, though. I don't know.
It felt like what's that Penny Arcade book, Lookouts?
Yeah.
It felt like Lookouts, but with chicks.
Well, it was
And
weird.
it was like really forced humor.
Yeah, like it drops you really quickly into the middle of some ridiculous fantasy, like way kind of over the top fantasy thing, and I was like, but Charlie,
I liked it.
You like Skull Kickers, and you like
Yeah.
a bunch of this other kind of funny fantasy stuff.
Yeah. Not to mention, I
I like the art style a
being
whole
a
lot.
D&D player forever, basically.
I like
Born?
I like to think I'm a D&D player, but I haven't played in years.
He's not a
But
bad hero
there-
books
there-
player
at
either.
heart.
There's
at
that
heart.
there's that whole sort of like thing. You go into a town, you save the town, and then you leave after they throw you a party or whatnot. I mean, that's sort of standard D&D fare. And I love the fact that this is basically a town where the heroes just decided to stay
Yeah.
And just to add
and
to
overstayed their welcome.
this
I
is
like
this is
that.
I'm like diverting from the topic at hand, but kind of divulging on Charlie's true like gamership. Like he was. This is a story I've told many times in the shop to other gamers, but you know, Charlie's like he's known in the Hero Clicks, like people that have been playing for like the last 10 years. They know him. Oh yeah, he's the guy that organized stuff over, and he's the one that knew all the best characters over at Legends. Is the name of that place? Anyways. He came to one of our first like big events, and you know he kind of got smashed on by a piece that was actually since errated and broken because it took away first turn initiative immunity. And then he came back like 2 months after, and he smashed the same dude, and he's like one of our better players. And then he ended up winning that event. I was like, "Fucking Charlie, you are G boy." I love that. I love that he went out on his own terms, came back, boom.
Yeah.
That was cool.
You know, for me, Rat Queen's back to what we were talking about.
Oh, sorry. You hear me? You have me here for the chaos. It's not to make sense and be rational.
I couldn't. There was too much forced.
Yeah.
For me, it was.
Yeah.
It was just like what the.
Yeah, it was
You know,
strange.
and
It was
like I was excited for this book, like you know, because okay, it seemed interesting. It was a group of, girl elves or midgets or whatever they are. I don't know yet. But yeah, it was kind of hard to get into because I think just there wasn't a lot going on except for fighting and yelling and talking about eating candy and mushrooms.
Because that's what adventurers do.
And maybe this is D&D on acid. I don't know, but I've never.
No, that's kind of Adventure Time. Adventure Time is D&D on acid.
Okay, maybe this is D&D on LSD. Nice. I don't know, but I'll give it another issue. But for me, it didn't really catch me and grab me.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish it, but yeah. I have one question here, Toby. This is actually for you. I know you're not feeling too good, so you can listen to it and you can answer. You don't have to answer right now because they want someone to elaborate. Well, this is from Darfox, one of our forum regulars here.
What's up?
He says he's watching Slam Dunk.
Excellent.
And he'd love to hear you elaborate on how your group of friends is like the show's cast.
Oh boy, my brain's not working quite right. I am definitely the main guy.
Short story, bro.
It totally is. It totally is.
We're all just fading into the background right now.
In high school, I in fact shaved my head just like he did. In fact, I probably got dumped or denied by as many girls as he did. And the stuff that goes through his head is probably the things that go through my head as well. And if Charlie ever reads it, he'll contest to that it's probably very true. He has his cohorts of friends. The bigger guy is like my friend Ken, and that's before he started walking around with a big old backpack and lost a whole lot of weight. But before that, he was Ken. There's the guy that's on the team that's a shooter. That's my friend Dave. There's a lot, but hopefully next week my brain is back and I actually can elaborate a little better. But it's definitely a story of almost my life.
How many nerds that couldn't name one current basketball player that sit around a table recording a podcast?
Well, no, this nerd right here, Omar knows basketball.
Yeah,
I know.
buddy.
I know. You're Asian, you know basketball.
Play four times a week.
Us is in Slam Dunk.
Oh, which one are you guys?
Yeah,
no, it's really more of my high school buddies. But, yeah.
All right.
This is so good. Holy shit.
I heard that over here, Toby. I was like, it's all right. You're throwing up on Marvel books. Nobody gives a shit.
All right. Well, we got two quick things here before we wrap up. We have a couple comments here on Twitter that I want to read, and one is from Billy, who says American cheese on a burrito. That's disgusting.
Dude, that's real time. That's real time. I love it.
Nobody can attest to that.
Chewbackenstein says that's a crime against tacos.
Why are we talking about this now?
And
You're getting your guts out.
And store regular Rory says, "Are you sure you just didn't get a shitty hot dog?" So. If you have any other comments about putting American cheese on tacos, let me know because we can.
Did you tweet about that?
I might
Yes,
have.
you did.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, we can read this on the podcast. But something actually important here. I was contacted by these people when they did their first Kickstarter, and I feel horrible because I completely forgot like 3 friggin' weeks in a row to actually mention this on the podcast. But if you do a search on Kickstarter for Origin Series or Ninjabot, one word, you come across a series of some pretty great prints that these guys are doing. They sort of are taking these, kind of this origin of certain comic book characters and doing like this sort of one stylized print for it, right? So their first Kickstarter was really successful. They have a second one now called Origin Series Part 2. They're like 2,000 short of their goal. They have like 17 days to go. They're going to blow way past it. But you should totally check this out. Ninjabot is, again, the art team. And Origin Series Part 2 is the one on here. And they're actually going to donate to us a couple prints to give out on the podcast.
Oh, wow.
I
Nice.
think we're just going to... have people choose which print they want. So next week I'm gonna contact them a little bit more and kind of get some specifics, and then next week we'll go ahead and do a contest and we'll run it up until the end of their thing here. So at least another week after that. Mm-hmm. But definitely check these guys out. They have a bunch of they have small prints like 4x6. They have like a bunch of bigger prints, the bigger sizes. Plus they have the original designs. They have some new designs. They have like a Green Arrow on the island. They have like Shazam getting struck by lightning.
I'll look it up and put a link on the blurb.
Yeah, really cool. Just really neat stylized stuff. It's cool stuff.
Incredible.
So check these guys out.
Shows the significance of Nightwing too, right? It's fucking awesome.
And we'll definitely mention those guys again next week as we do our full contest for that.
Nice.
But we will now wrap up. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you Toby for
yakking your guts out.
Taking one from the team.
Not out here.
Is it really that bad?
Oh, dude.
Or was it me? What is it?
I don't know. My body completely rejected it.
You're a vegetarian, so oh my god.
Rejected it. It's like you had to get out, needed to get water.
Oh god.
You had to puke since you left the store to go get water.
I was
right?
thinking about puking right outside the store. To be honest, right?
You should have done it. I was telling them you should have done it right in front of the food
in front
place.
of the taco truck.
Yeah.
Or food.
I'm telling you. I took like 2 bites and I'm like, nope, and I just tossed it. I could tell. I
didn't. We were so busy at work today. I was so damn hungry, and I was like, I don't like to waste food. I was like, even if it's bad,
Don't you guys have a good cafeteria?
I didn't have time, dude. It was but
Don't you have interns that'll go get shit for you?
not anymore. Intern season's over. Plus, we don't make him do that kind of stuff.
Hopefully you feel
should.
better next week, Toby. And I don't know if you heard me say, but I did announce your pick.
Okay.
Tale of Sand by Jim Henson.
What a surprise that he picked a bunch of Muppets.
Next week,
You'll be
There is no
surprised.
Muppets.
You'll be very, 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 very surprised.
I'm just doing the opposite of positive setting up like Ryan does.
No, you'll be very.
Yeah, Ryan positive sets up everything and then he cuts it down.
slams it.
Destroys
Look at this
it.
beautiful redwood tree.
Actually, I'm very looking much forward to. I can't even talk anymore. I'm looking
much
forward
forward.
to what Ryan thinks about it.
Just say it in Danish or whatever language you speak.
Yeah, no. But it's
He was speaking
it's an
John
art
in the
piece.
back.
Yeah.
No, I say Tales of Sand is a total art piece.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
It's
It's a quick read.
It's a very quick read. It's far thicker than JLA Earth 2, but it's a far quicker read than it. So, what else I want to say? It's co-written by Jerry Joel. He's one of the main co-writers that Jim Henson works with a lot. He's one of the head writers of the Muppets for many seasons. The book is based on, it's kind of a semi-sequel to 2 short films they did before Jim Henson made it big. And one is called Timepiece. The other one is called The Cube. They're both very experimental filmmaking, which is not really my thing. But when
Can you see these on YouTube?
yeah, you can actually. They're a bit edited by reading the comments because I've never seen the originals, but they're a bit edited, but they're really out there. But when you check out this book, it's cool because the art by Ramon Perez is so fucking good. It definitely takes you in. I mean, I've been having some really psychedelic dreams lately where a lot of weird shit happens.
That's the American cheese.
Yeah. And I usually get those by having very much lack of sleep, and then I get some weird visions, and I feel like this is one of those visions. Like it's like one of those weird fucking dreams that I have at night, and in book form. It's like, and the art is so good. It brings out. It's almost it drags you in. Like a very very few books do that. You go through the pages and there's no words. You just go through it, and it sucks you in, and it sucks you into this world, and the art style is just bloody amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get your Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. review next week?
Sure, it sucked.
You sound like the Republicans talking about Obamacare. Sucks.
I'll elaborate next week.
Okay.
No,
All right.
you elaborated plenty in the toilet about it.
All right, we're gonna go.
I'll say why.
Yeah.
What I think.
Well, we'll have
Actually,
another-
It's very much in tune with what Ryan probably said.
And we're gonna have another episode next week to talk about, so we'll just have a little bit more to say. And is Arrow? No, Arrow's the week after, right?
No, this week, anybody who didn't watch season 1, they're doing like the kind of recap episode
cool.
like Lost used to do this week. So then next
Nice.
week,
is the week after.
So
is,
what day is that? Arrow.
Wednesday.
Sure.
So we can all do a gay rail marathon together?
Ollie porn.
Oh, it's so good.
Ollie porn?
So good.
Ollie
I don't
porn.
mind Ollie porn.
Ollie porn.
All right. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you everyone for being here.
Diggle.
Toby, hopefully you feel better next week.
Jesus.
It feels weird whenever I say Diggle, especially when Ollie says it. Hey, Diggle.
Yeah, right. It's just like
You could go to comicsconspiracy.biz or geekbox.net where you can hear this episode and all our previous episodes. Go to forums at geekbox.net and talk to us and all our forum regulars on there. Or the or the Geekbox face grip. Face grip?
Face grip.
Face grip. Face grip.
That sounds awesome.
Give me your face.
I mean, that's a new site that we should start.
Facebook group. Face grip.
That's what he gets for here listening to listen to Toby speak, and
I'm
Toby's like going in and out of consciousness. And he's all, what the hell did he say?
I'm just picturing somebody like registering that domain now because they're convinced
fake
that's
block,
going to be the
you know.
next.
I'm telling you, that Tales of Sando, you should read it a little weird. You get a lot more out of it.
Oh, we will. We have to. It's
or
the
the
month.
Geekbox Facebook group. You can go talk to us on there as well. Forums at geekbox.net. Don't forget that. Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz is all digital storefront. Go buy our stuff on there. And a lot of you did this month. A whole lot of you did this month. Thank you very, very much. Any purchase you make through our digital storefront at digital.comicsconspiracy.biz, we get a nice cut of every purchase. So if you buy Comixology books, buy them through there, and we get a nice little bonus. We're all on Twitter doing random things. I'm Ryan Higgins Ryan. Brock's Brock Sager. Omar is Comics and Decline. Bryce, who should be back next week, is Larson Bryce. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie's Insanity and Chaos. I told you my sites. Go visit conspiratobrock.com. That's Brock's blog. Go visit comicsanddecline.com. That is Omar's site. And the Infinite Long Box podcast, which is Charlie's other podcast, at infinitelongbox.com.
He's not doing it.
I want to hear him do it.
Yeah, is there anything else? That's it. The contact is the Comic Conspiracy Geekbox.net, or use the contact forms on geekbox.net there as well.
And just so everyone knows, a deluxe edition of JLA Earth 2 comes out this week.
Yeah, good timing. So if you want to buy it,
Omar
go check
planned
that
it
out.
all out.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe it goes.
American.
Charlie and I are curious if it goes digital on Wednesday.
I'm going to have my third copy of JLA. Third.
Why do you need 3 copies of this book?
I have the original hardcover. I have it in JLA Volume 4. Thank you, Charlie. And I will buy the big deluxe oversize because it's Morrison, as what I do.
So you're just going to buy it even though you already have it in that exact same size?
It's
format?
Morrison. It's what I do.
You know, I would say something about it, but I can't because I buy that stuff all the time too. Like, I think I own like 4 versions of Batman Hush. I got it in black and white. I got it in 2 hardcovers.
It can't be more than $20.
It's $24.99.
Does it have extra stuff? Or?
I have no
Put one
clue,
aside for
but
me.
When I noticed, I think it's $24.99
Cool.
for the deluxe.
I know you ordered like 20 of them. So
Probably comes with like
I ordered a
3
couple.
covers.
I ordered a couple. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We'll catch you next week.